What's up?
What's going on, bro? I'm Jonathan Noel.
I'm Brian Noel,
This is Forms and Focus.
where we provide guided forms that manifest
Radical
focus. Where we are focused is...
Boy.
Woo!
There it is, signature intro.
Oh, man. You know, we got that feedback from a listener that said
Yep.
you should probably do an intro. And we were like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
no one knows who we are, so maybe we should actually introduce ourselves. Who knows, it might be more than friends and family who listen one day. Maybe.
So we love your feedback.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. All right. What are we talking about today, bro?
I think we're talking about good old-fashioned tasks.
Ooh. You know, I often forget to put the S at the end of task when plural.
Hey,
Tasks.
finish your tasks.
So, you know that show Mythbusters?
Yeah.
Well, there's a myth we're busting today.
There it is, absolutely. So it looks like this is from Kevin P. Madore and
Yeah.
Anthony Wagner.
They're PhDs.
National Library of Medicine. The human mind and brain lack the architecture to perform two or more tasks simultaneously.
Wow.
So multitasking
Is
not
a myth.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's not a thing. So, to this end, basically, when you attempt to multitask, what you're doing is usually switching between two things, which actually has a lag involved. What was-
Lag time.
Exactly.
Lag time between switching and task.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you're so focused on one thing, and then just to, boom, uproot and move on to the next one, it doesn't happen immediately.
I feel like that's why most Americans are depressed, tired, fatigued, lack focus, angry, just distraught. Like, because like that lag time, the brain is just,
Yeah,
it wants to do one thing.
exactly.
Have you ever been driving down the road? And I know you're not supposed to text and drive, but you look at your phone, maybe you're trying to get your GPS right, and then you look up and you're like, holy crap, I don't think I've been looking at the road for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
I've
pretty
totally
dangerous.
done that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But it just goes back to you can't multitask.
No. Yeah. That's on a long drive, too.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm going 75, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So there's lag time and then so multitasking on behavior. So this is pretty interesting as well. And the demands it places on relevant brain networks is by analyzing task, switch, cost.
Right.
So task, switch, cost. Something to think about.
That's what I was trying to think of in the last bullet point.
Yeah. So individuals almost always take longer to complete a task and do so with more errors when switching between tasks than when staying on one task.
Right. So if you just stay on task, how many times can we say task in 10 minutes? So you just stay on point until it's done.
Until it's
and
done.
then you move on, you know?
I'll be honest with you, bro.
What's that?
I do task blocks or focus blocks, and I even put them on my calendar. So if I have a group of tasks, say 5 tasks that I want to complete, I put that on my calendar. It's called a task block on my calendar, and it's either an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however much time I need, and I bullet everything I want to accomplish in that task block in the meeting.
We found the person who is not the average person here.
But I'm telling you, the number one, how many of us, like, ask yourself this question: how many of you get to the end of the day at work and you don't even know what the hell you did that day?
For sure. The other way I look at it too, what does it feel like when you have a lot of things to do and you've been working all day but nothing got done?
Oh my gosh!
It's probably because you did 10% of 20 tasks instead of 100% of 2 tasks.
Oh man! I
You
tell
know?
you what, people are going to be in their car right now going, "Oh man, that's my life. That's my life." But a lot of it, some of it's not our fault, right? So it's really kind of a cultural thing, in this thing called
Media multitasking. So it looks like American youth on average spend 7.5 hours a day with various media, and at least 29% of that time involves media multitasking. Which, I mean, you know, those are the people watching a movie while they're looking at their phone. You know, it's like,
doing homework on your laptop for school while you're on TikTok.
yeah, that's
Trying to study for a test.
That's the double dose right there. That's the
double
brain melting, Smooth brain double dose.
So this is pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to read it slow because this article I read was pretty interesting. But it says another finding has emerged is that heavier media multitaskers sometimes perform worse than lighter media multitaskers. So the definition there is if you're a heavy media multitasker, picture yourself at work and you've got your email open, you've got your chat open, you've got whatever you're working on open, you've got your financial software open, you've got Google Docs open or spreadsheets open, and you're working on them all at the same time while you're texting back and forth on your phone. That's a heavy media multitasking.
Sounds pretty heavy.
Yeah, sounds
like your brain would be fried.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting about that. And for perform worse, so the heavier media multitaskers perform worse on a single task. So even when a heavy media multitasker, that was crazy. This is the article I read. I had to read it like 5 times. But even when they stop and perform a single task, they do worse.
Right.
Like almost their brains screwed up.
Yeah. It's like almost you've just kind of wired that habit in at that point where you're just so used to being inundated with like 20 different things that now you can't even focus on one thing.
That's true. Thinking about that, probably a perfect example of that is when you sit down, you do your due diligence to try to really focus on a task, but all you're thinking about is, I wonder what that person replied to me on Twitter. I wonder this. I wonder if that email came through. I wonder if this happened. I wonder if that happened.
Almost like you can't zone in on that thing anymore.
That's this whole podcast is retraining our brain to focus on the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Multitasking is pulling you away from that.
I think the good thing is that can change, of course.
It can.
Like if you start reading books and you haven't read in a while, you'll notice. And this has happened to me before. Like you read like for 10 minutes and you're like, I'm gonna pass out. What did I read? Like I can't even do this. It's kind of like a muscle you have to flex. Focusing. Staying on target. For one thing.
Gosh. So here's what I've done. So we'll talk solutions. And since that made me think of something, Jonathan. So I've been, I go for walks.
Yeah.
Like several times a day in between meetings. I'll do like 3 or 4 mile walks. I've got a park right next to my house. So if I got 30 minutes before the next meeting, I'll just go take a walk.
Nice.
But I've been listening to audible books, and I've been really, really focusing on listening to the book while I'm listening to it.
Right.
Which sounds stupid, but it's like,
yeah, it's so easy to just like daydream or not even pay any attention to what you're listening to.
Think about the email, think about the next meeting, think about the last meeting, think about something that you said that you shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Think about, all that stuff, but really try to listen to the book. So, advice number 1, don't multitask. It's not a thing.
Right. Don't multitask, and then set actionable tasks. So basically, let's see.
I love this, right? We talked a little bit about tasks last time. So if you start a focus block and your task is, because I got to do this now, get taxes done.
Yeah.
Well, every time I sit down to get my taxes done, there's like a million subtasks to that. Yeah. And so I can't focus on it. But if I write down, I need to pull all my reports. I need to audit them. I need to find my expenses and write-offs. And if I write each individual task down, and then I sit down for an hour to work on my taxes, guess what? I just knock them out.
Then it gets done. That makes perfect sense. I'm in that boat right now, and I just do not feel like doing it.
I know. Every year I'm like, I'm going to keep up with it during the year so it's easy, and I don't do it.
People think January sucks because it's like New Year's is over and you're starting the new year. It's because you have to start worrying about taxes now.
That's true. That's probably why most New Year's resolutions aren't accomplished, because
you have to file taxes. You have to think about it.
Those people that just submit a W-2 and that's all they do.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done that in 10 years. Like once you're on 1099 status, January is... I mean, I'm not going to say I don't like January. I'm not going to say I don't like a month, but that's the month where you start thinking about like, oh, man, it's just there.
It's there.
The Excel spreadsheet.
What else can we do, Jonathan? What can we turn off?
Notifications. And this makes perfect sense. You're trying to work, and you just hear, the ping, 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 whatever it is, the buzz, the tone, whatever you have, and you just pick up the phone, and then boom, now you're thinking about something completely different, you lost that focus.
You know, I need to go back and pull this up because I may have dreamed this, but I feel like I read somewhere like 10 years ago that a social notification triggers the same part of the brain as it did 500 years ago when we thought a tiger was in the woods about to eat us. So like your brain's like, what's that? Right? Like it literally triggers the same thing, that response.
Just like a...
So you got to turn that crap off.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not a tiger. It's not a tiger.
If you're trying to get things done, it's almost like make it a point to where you're basically not available. You don't exist for that 20 minutes, hour, whatever, 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going into like a workout class or yoga and you don't want to hear someone's phone going off because you can't focus.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
If you're in a movie.
I mean, if that was happening, you'd be like, who is this person?
Yeah.
They're an inconsiderate prick.
And now you know that when you don't turn off your notifications, you're a prick to yourself.
Exactly. You're doing it to yourself. So don't do that.
So, well, I'm glad that you said that because a piece of that is setting boundaries.
Yeah.
If multitasking is not a thing and we need to protect our time, we need to set healthy boundaries with those around us.
Exactly.
If you've got coworkers that they don't know how to complete their job, so they call you, so you pretty much complete their job for them.
Time to set that boundary today.
Set it today. And listen, if you're at work and you're doing something of value for your company,
yeah,
setting that boundary and getting that done is not bad. Turn that stuff off. And then
exactly.
If you're working on your
Just
dreams,
anything in life,
yeah,
and it's amazing. It's honestly amazing what you can do in 1 hour with no distractions.
Yeah,
I think there's not many things like regular day-to-day tasks that take much longer than an hour. Really,
it's true.
If you just totally put 100% focus into it.
Oh, I love that.
I think another quick one would be no clutter. So when I'm editing down these podcasts, I can't have anything on my desk. It's just a distraction. Notifications, I kind of have to put the phone away.
Yeah.
And that's it. It is what it is. You know?
No clutter.
Yeah. So
I love it. All right. So that's it. Set goals. Last episode, this episode, in those goals.
Multitasking is a myth.
It's a myth. Don't multitask. Document your task.
Right.
Set a time period. Remove distractions and knock those tasks
Exactly.
out.
Always keep in mind the task switch cost. The time that is lost between switching tasks, because that is a real thing. So just get one thing done before you move on. Don't get to 80% and then move on. Just you're right there.
Get it done.
Just do it.
Oh, I love that. All right, so go to Forums and Focus, sign up for the newsletter, go to YouTube, and subscribe to the channel.
Sweet.
And we're out.
All right.